Max, do we have any questions on Facebook?
Buttload of questions.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
A metric buttload?
We've got a little less than 25 minutes to get through all these. So buckle up, kids.
Rock and roll.
All right. Advice on picking a team if yours has already been eliminated from the playoffs.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? This is a great question. Great question.
I think that you want to go for a team with, for me, I would go for a team with an easy individual superstar to root for.
Interesting.
I think that's the way.
So you're playing the odds game.
I mean, if you're looking for a team, well, this all depends. There's two ways to go about it. If you're looking for the most exciting team to watch, then pick a team with an individual superstar.
Sure.
Pick a team like Mansfield, Candy Brothers.
Right.
Pick a team like Bremont with Shaw Paul.
Yeah.
Pick a team, with, there's 100 others that we can pick, with an individual superstar that you enjoy watching if you want the most exciting. If you want the best story, pick a team that's never won a title.
Sure.
Find a team that's never won a title and say, you know what, this is the year. Hop on board the DeSoto bandwagon.
Yeah.
This is the team that's been long thought to be an underachiever, and here they are on the cusp of something special. Do that. Or pick a team from a region that doesn't win a lot. Pick a West Texas team. There are 3 Lubbock teams still in the race. So go check out a Lubbock team. St. Angelo Central, Abilene, the Abilene and Abilene Cooper, or down in the down if you want to hop on board a team from like maybe the Golden Triangle, not West Orange Stark. That's a killing machine. You can't pick them. But pick a team, like Beaumont Westbrook.
Jack Dallas.
Yeah, but pick a team like Beaumont Westbrook. So those would be my two, depending on what you're looking for. That would be my advice. What's next?
Right. Speaking of DeSoto, thoughts on Abilene versus DeSoto?
This, if you squint, you can see a trap game.
Right.
If you squint, because Abilene is the kind of team that is playing right now, in a way that that can give them trouble. Yep. Last week they shut down Jack Fields and the America's running game out in El Paso. This is a very good offense. Peyton Killam's had a great year at the quarterback spot. Here is my concern with Abilene, though, is that I just don't think they've seen this type of speed.
No, I don't think so either. And Matt Stepp, who just left, brought up a great point last night in one of our conversations. He said this game's going to go one of two ways. Abilene is in it, and it's like a 41-40 game at the end, or it's an absolute blowout and DeSoto rolls.
That is the one thing. I think a lot of this has to do with whether or not DeSoto has been resting on their laurels after a big win last week over South Lake Carroll. Abilene is absolutely the kind of team that can beat them, but I picked DeSoto. I feel like DeSoto is probably the pretty considerable favorite in this one. What's next?
Thoughts on Seminole versus Monahans?
Super interesting game.
Yeah,
Seminole has been hotter than a firecracker these days.
Right.
I mean,
and Monahans had the regular season victory. So
yeah, they did. So this is a rematch. And so in their first meeting, Monahans did beat Seminole, but this was a pretty close game, 27-19. But that game was at Seminole. I think that Seminole is hot. I mean, if you believe in the hot team, the hot team is Seminole. Last week, 2 weeks ago in the opener, I thought there was a decent chance they bow out to Perryton. Perryton was 9-1, but they end up beating them. And then last week they beat a really good Iowa Park team. So if you go with the hot hand, you go with Seminole. But Monahans has been just steady as she goes. I mean, this team has been really just steady as she goes. They're averaging 42 points a game. I really like the way that they put together their offense. I think their balance offensively is really fun. Tyler McAllister, the running back, has been great. Overall, I think I lean a little bit towards Monahans, even though it is tough to beat a team twice. But I think I lean a little bit towards Monahans. But then again, I think I picked against Seminole every week, so don't listen to me when it comes to Seminole. They have made a living on making me look dumb. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Monahans, which means Seminole's gonna win.
Yeah.
What's next?
Right. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie for you, right?
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do this for the remainder of the show.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, where is mine?
Yeah, where's your turkey head? There you go.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Which way does it go? This way.
Yeah, that way.
There we go.
I don't know if I can put
it doesn't fit as well as the first day, but I don't know why. But
I don't know. I'm on Team Pumpkin Pie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can have my headphones on at the same time, but I'm on Team Pumpkin Pie. It's my favorite. It's my favorite dish.
A really great turkey. I'll go with that, brined or fried.
We had a brined turkey last night at Friendsgiving. It was really good.
It's a great call.
It was really good.
And then if you do a really interesting dressing, I really like that. Yeah.
Are you a dressing or stuffing guy?
Dressing. I like the way to trick it up. This is not going to work.
Okay.
I like being able to trick it up. If you stuff it in the bird, you
can only go one of two ways.
It's a riskier proposition.
Okay. What's next?
All right. Mineola offense versus Howe's defense. How's that shake out?
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate strength-on-strength matchup in this game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know how that plays out.
Right.
Because I feel like this is going to be a really interesting game in that regard. The other side is what has me worried for Howe. Is that I feel like the Mineola defense is really, really fast and really, really active, and I feel like they're going to have the advantage over Howe's offense in that regard. So I'm going to go. I think that could be a draw. Yeah. You know, I think that the Howe offense Howe defense against the Mineola offense may be a bit of a draw, but I think the reverse of that, Mineola has a pretty sizable advantage, which is why I lean towards the Yellow Jackets. What's next?
We covered this a little bit on Monday's show, but we have a few questions about it. Thoughts on Charlie Strong's situation still at UT after the TCU game?
Yeah, I mean, the question is, look, I think everybody in the world thinks that he's going to be fired after this week, after the game on Friday.
The way it looks.
It looks like the tea leaves are saying that he's going to be fired. I think that he has not done a good enough job of surrounding himself with people who can help to develop talent.
Right. That
talent has never been the problem. It's been about developing that talent. And those are the same kinds of things that you were able to say about Mac Brown there towards the end of his tenure, was that he just wasn't developing the talent at the same rate. So the question then becomes, are they doing this the right way?
Right.
We disagree on that. I don't think there's any point in firing him right now. You think that you fire him right now if that means you can go get Tom Herman.
No, it has nothing to do with Tom Herman. I just think it's the humane thing to do. Like, just, chop the head off now, get it over with. Okay. I think you're just leaving him dangling. This is an uncomfortable week. You're creating a media circus by not just saying it's over, let's celebrate his time here and be done with it. You know?
I understand that. You're wrong, but it's okay.
That's okay.
What's next?
Thoughts on the Texas Tech situation? A little bit different.
Tech's not firing Cliff Kingsbury this year. He's got
I'd be really surprised.
He's got a $9.5 million buyout that they're not going to pay a guy to not coach, because I think they're still paying Mike Leach. They're not going to pay him. Beyond that, I think he gets one more year, and I think that a lot of this has to do with whether or not he can convince Pat Mahomes to come back for his senior year. If he can convince Pat Mahomes to come back for his senior year, then all of a sudden things look a lot more promising for 2017. Now, I think he's got to win 8 games next year. 7, definitely 7, probably 8 to keep his job after next year. But the worm is turning on Cliff Kingsbury out in Lubbock, because it doesn't matter if you're the superstar, face of the franchise, local boy done good guy, if you don't win.
Yep.
That's the bottom line of the situation.
It's tough because that's a top 5 offensive program, but it's been so bad on the other side of the ball that it's almost completely
and I'm interested to see, he mentioned after that game loss to Iowa State, he's talked about, is he going to
keep calling all the plays?
Yeah, is he going to call the plays? There's going to be, why? Is he going to keep calling the plays, or is he going to step back into more of a CEO role? That will be interesting. We'll see about that. I unfortunately, the biggest miss that we had this year was that we expected the Texas Tech defense to be able to take a step forward, and it arguably is taking a step back.
Yeah,
so that was our biggest miss on the year. So what's next?
We've talked about it a lot. You can watch it in Greg's preview video, Fixing to Pick 'em. It's one of his spotlight games, texasfootball.com/preview. However, Cliff's Notes version, San Angelo Central versus Allen. Where are you at?
The San Angelo Central versus Allen game does not come down to the wide receivers. It does not come down to the quarterbacks. It doesn't even arguably come down to the defensive backs or anything like that. The San Angelo Central versus Allen game comes down to the trenches. This is going to be, Allen's offensive and defensive lines will be the biggest, deepest, and meanest defensive and offensive lines that San Angelo Central has seen by
a factor of 1,000.
Yeah, it's been incredible. They are so deep, and they're so and it's quality depth.
Yeah,
and that's what having 6,000 kids in your school will get you. It'll get you quality depth. San Angelo Central is probably not winning in the trenches. Okay, I don't think they are. But if they can play that to a draw, then I think they've got a real good chance to win this game.
Yep.
Because that's the biggest advantage Allen has in this game, is in the trenches.
Yep.
They have a huge advantage there. If they can mitigate their biggest advantage, then I think Central wins this game. If they can't, then Allen wins this game. And if they can't, then Allen may run away with this game.
Yeah.
So for me, I picked Central because I love an underdog.
Yep.
And this is a coin flip type game for me. I think on a neutral field, I take Allen in a close one.
Yeah.
I think at San Angelo, I'm going to take Central in a close one.
I'm riding that wave with
you.
you.
Remember, another fact, Central is 22-1 at San Angelo Stadium in their last 4 years. So think about that.
All right, we got a little less than 8 minutes to get 6 questions, so buckle up.
Let's go.
Thoughts on Burton versus Falls City?
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, Falls City, this is the traditional power, and
Sure.
Burton has had the breakout year.
Yeah, Burton's had the really nice year. The thing that concerns me, and maybe this is probably not fair, but Falls City spooked me when they dropped that district game.
I agree.
When they dropped that district game earlier this year, that was really kind of like, oh wait, they're not invincible.
Yeah.
You know, when they lost to, I forget who it was, but they lost a district game for the first time in umpteen years.
Yeah, since 2007, I think.
Yeah, 2007 they lost to Flatonia. Now Flatonia is a really good team.
Flatonia's been hot,
but
man.
that was a team that I'm like, okay, that's not fair. I freely recognize that that's not fair. But I do think that this Burton team is playing really, really well.
Yeah, they've had a really nice year.
They've had an exceptional year. They're 11-1 on the year.
Yeah.
And what impresses me the most about them is their defense. Their defense has been really good. Now the Falls City defense traditionally good as well.
Yeah.
But I think the Burton defense wins the day in this one. I think Burton wins. I took them to beat the Beavers of Falls City. What's next?
How far can the Woodlands go?
I picked them to win a title.
Yeah.
I am souring a little bit on that pick because of the last couple of weeks. The defense has not looked up to snuff the past couple of weeks. I know they're a little bit banged up. I know their running back. They're leading running.
I can't remember his last name, but yeah.
Their star running back is
Jordan Telford.
Yeah, Jordan Telford. Their leading running back is out, so that's problematic.
Yeah.
I think they beat Austin Bowie. I think they beat the winner of Campbell and Round Rock, and I think they make it at least to a semifinal.
I think so too.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, they would be running into a team like Allen or San Angelo Central, in my view. And so that may be, if I had to pick my state title game again, I may be leaning more towards the winner of Region 1 than the winner of Region 2.
Yeah.
But it's getting close. What's
the
next?
injuries haven't helped. Yeah. Thoughts on Canadian versus Coleman? This is gonna be a great one.
This is a super sneaky game.
Yeah, and Coleman has really rebounded from kind of tailing off at the end of the season.
They did, and I'll tell you that Canadian. God, what can you say about Chris Ketting? Yeah. Like everything was going against them. Okay, they lose their star quarterback. They lose a lot of their weapons from their state back-to-back state titles or three straight titles in the past couple of years. They lose a ton of those weapons. They move up to 3A, and they just keep churning. That win over Eastland was really impressive. Now they are running into, in my view, probably the best Coleman or the best defense they've seen all year long. Mm-hmm. And so if you are Coleman, if you're the Blue Cats, you're saying we're going to muck this thing up.
Yep.
We're going to make this a 14-12 game. Now, Canadian can win like that. Their defense has been great, but that's where Coleman wants to live. If this game gets up into the 30s, that's bad news bears for the Blue Cats.
Yep.
So I'm taking Canadian. I think last week they really, really impressed me with the win over Eastland. I'm taking Canadian. I think it's really close. The lower the score, the better for Coleman. What's next?
Yep. Thoughts on the two games in 6A Region 2 Division 1?
Okay, 6A Division 2 Region 1. So that would be Campbell and Round Rock.
Yep.
Campbell and Round Rock is interesting. So Campbell, two great wins over teams that are built almost exactly the same in Rowlett and Rockwall. Those are big offenses, defenses. Meh. The question was going to be whether or not they could slow them down. Whether or not they could slow down those big offenses, keep the game within reach. They did, and they won both of them. It was really impressive. Now they're taking on a team in Round Rock that is almost the opposite.
Yeah.
This is a Round Rock team that wants to win with defense. Now their offense isn't bad. I think that this offense has a lot of pieces that I really like. Their quarterback Mark Reed has been very good. He's an 1,800, 1,200 guy. Yeah. He's a superstar out there. But Round Rock also, unlike Rowlett and Rockwall, Round Rock does have a just bruising defense. Their linebacker, Brandon Pfluger, has been fantastic. They've got one of the most menacing defensive ends you'll see in James Lynch. Mm-hmm. So they've got the complete package. I picked Round Rock to win that game because I think that this is a different type of team that Campbell is used to seeing the past couple of weeks. But Campbell's proven me wrong. Yeah. I think this is a team that's better than a lot of people thought they were going to be. It's a 50-50 type game. The Woodlands and Austin Bowie. I think the Woodlands is your favorite here. I love what Jeff Abels has done no, he's at LBJ. No, he's at Bowie. That's right. Bowie's coach. I love what Jeff Abels has done at Bowie. I think that they've got a real shot in this one. For me, the biggest question is whether or not they can match them score for score. Yeah. Because this is a very good. What am I saying? Max, what am I saying?
Woodlands is great. From my perspective, I'm favoring Woodlands very heavy in this game.
Are you?
I know not everyone is. I know you and Stepper are both a little higher on Bowie.
My question is going to be whether or not they can match them score for score. Quarterback Wade Smith's been good, but I think that for me, the question for Bowie is whether or not they can match them offensively.
I also think this is probably the best defense that Bowie's seen this year.
Agreed. So. What's next? We got 3 minutes.
All right. Manvel offense versus Cedar Park defense.
Isn't that
who
great?
Has the edge?
So Cedar Park's defense. The thing is that Cedar Park, to beat Cedar Park, you have to match them physically.
Yeah.
I think Manvel can do that.
Yeah.
I think they can match them physically. The difference and the reason I'm picking Manvel is the speed.
Yeah.
Is because they've got the physical.
Yeah.
That's like, call that a draw. Check.
Yeah.
From a speed perspective, Manvel's got the Jets, man.
Yeah.
They've got they're holding all the cards. That's why I like Manvel in this one. I think that they can match them physically, and then I think that the speed makes the difference on the outside.
I think the trade, too, this year, Cedar Park's schedule just hasn't been what it was.
That's another
They
thing.
haven't played a lot of great teams. We know Manvel has, and they've beat some great 6A programs like Galena Park North Shore.
I think I'm more that's the thing. I think I'm more confident that I know that Manvel's really, really good. I have a feeling that Cedar Park's really, really good.
We trust them.
They can prove this week real easy that they are a really, really good team if they beat Manvel. But for now, I think that with the information that I have to go with Manvel. What's next?
Yeah. Last question.
Okay.
Thoughts on Wall versus Littlefield?
I like Wall.
Yeah.
Littlefield.
I like Wall by a lot in this one. Yeah.
Littlefield. That was a really nice. That's a really kind of nice under the radar good win over Bowie last week. The kind of I think a close game. They played them tight. This is a Wall team that I think is just on another level, though.
Yeah,
like the way that they're playing right now is just out of control. This is another game in which, if you're Littlefield, you want to keep this score low. You do not want to. You do not want to let this big running attack with Trevor Halfman and company with Wall get loose. Because if it does, this game gets into the 30s and 40s. It's a lost cause. Because I don't think that they can score with Wall, especially against that Wall defense.
I agree. And last 2 quick answers. I'm going to shout out to these guys. Jim Zimmerman, I know who you are. I saw you last week. Alito's going to go all the way. I'm so impressed by their team speed. I don't see who stops them.
Yeah, you saw him last week.
Saw him last week. The title game may be interesting. We'll see who that ends up being, but I don't think there's a roadblock between now and then. And thoughts on West Orange Stark? Huge favorites this week and beyond. We still think they're the title favorites.
They're a murder machine.
Yeah, man.